Hello and welcome to Tying Telco Together. It's a program where we dive into successful transformational stories from service providers all around the world. This week, we're talking to Simon Warner, who's the Director of Business Services and International Government at BT. As well, we have Kit Beall, who's Vice President of Telco Sales here at VMware. Welcome, guests.
Hey, Stephen. Hey, Kit.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah. Well, today we're going to get started with our conversation and go through a few questions. But an exciting place to start here is what we're going to talk about digital transformation and how a multi-vendor approach can empower service innovation. VMware, as you know, has a unique vantage point in the industry. We have one foot in the world of cloud and virtualization and another foot in the world of telecom. Now, we all been watching the relationships between vendors and service providers, and they've been changing over time. More and more, we're seeing service providers like BT partnering with companies like VMware. And while some of these factors motivating these shifts are technological, there also seems to be an influence on the shifting operational philosophy. Now, service providers are looking at new kinds of partnerships and in different ways and different specialties, as well as approaching the market in order to rebuild their relationship with the market. Simon, how has this shift been influencing the way BT approaches partnerships, and what does it mean for your business and ultimately your customers?
Yeah, thanks, Stephen. Great place to start. As you can imagine, right now there's a perfect storm of change going on. All organisations are they're going through significant change. They've got digital transformation going on. They need to be more agile. Flexibility is a word I hear every day. And ultimately, companies, organisations need a partner that can bring some expertise, experience, but also scale and an ecosystem of partners, technology partners, but only partners that lead their field. And it's our job to create the solutions focused on their business outcomes. We need to deliver the experience end users need. It needs to be secure, of course, and then we need to monitor it and manage it and make sure that we use the insight we gain from securing governments, countries, and many of the largest companies in the world.
Kit, how has this transformation changed the way that VMware approaches things with other vendors, engaging with service providers and the likes of customers all over the world?
It's a great question, and building on what Simon was describing, it is all about scale. It's all about security. And it's really now moving to much more of a managed services model. The whole notion of DIY and sort of just providing some tech is just where that's the past. Managed services are the future. And so as we look forward, really having a much more strategic partnership, not only with our service provider partners, but also with our end customers, really is changing the landscape and is changing the engagement. And I would say, very much moving away from the transactional to that strategic has really, it's shifting in the industry. And I think, again, Simon said it well, we're in a unique point in time right now. And again, the customers are really asking for something very different from technology providers and from service providers.
That's a really important paradigm shift. I mean, the lines between infrastructure, services, and applications are always blurring. The performance of a service depends on the infrastructure ultimately, and the value of that infrastructure gets inextricably linked or tied to the applications and the managed services that one can offer. So really, what we're talking about here isn't just a shift between service provider and vendor, but it's also between vendors and vendors. Simon, based on that, BT is in a unique position to provide infrastructure globally, which puts even more pressure on the number and the quality of partnerships that you guys maintain. Moving from a world of where you have traditionally worked with a smaller number of vendors and maybe even typically one or maybe a few at a time, how are you seeing this dynamic between ecosystem partners changing, and what does that mean for your strategy?
Yes, I like that moment in time that we have right now, and Kit was talking about. We are changing our focus on providers. It's all about giving our customers choice and flexibility. We need to, as I said earlier, create those business outcomes. But the approach needs to be different. Where it adds value, we'd have a broad a variety of partners. Network underlay, for example, we work with 225 ISPs through the world. But when it comes to technology, we'd work with a much more select group, looking at the best technology providers, such as VMware. That allows us to focus on innovative, exciting ideas, and together we can differentiate our offering. So working with a small group of providers really allows us to work collaboratively, and that helps us deliver those innovative solutions.
Kit, I'm sure you'd agree what's happening across the table and the fact that the network's changing. Where do you think we as an industry are headed when it comes to a multi-vendor approach? And what are you seeing with regards to the value of these relationships aligning with that vision? Furthermore, have you seen partners out there which aren't aligned to these open multi-vendor philosophies?
Yeah, so if I go back 10, 15, 20 years ago, everything was built as a dedicated network function. It was very hard-coded. And of course, today we're moving into the world of software-defined networks, virtual networks, containerized networks. So VMware is very much at the forefront of delivering those platforms. And to make that work, we have to be embracing an open ecosystem of all kinds of different partners. Again, whether it's people building specific things, custom for an operator like BT, or broad-based prepackaged software. We're very much in that business of open. And one thing I'll just highlight, and again, this is always the misnomer. Open does not mean open source, right? And I think that's where a lot of people get a little bit confused. I think as we go forward, the transformation here really is about enabling choice, right? Enabling choice for our service provider partners, but also end customers, and allowing them to quickly mix and match to be able to deliver on the best outcomes. And I think for us, the business focus for us really is again, how do we run these networks more efficiently? How do we allow them to, as Simon said, scale in massive ways that we've just seen in the last year? Unexpected changes, really, we have to be able to adapt and bring in new technologies. So we've been incredibly, I would say, successful in terms of being able to do that with partners and doing that globally. And I think going forward, again, this notion of open and having, again, choice, as Simon mentioned, in terms of different access types, different vendors, I think that's going to be absolutely key to any successful SP, or frankly, any successful enterprise going forward, is that openness.
Understood. Part of the beauty behind building this dynamic partnership based on modern approaches, like you just said, is the ability to reimagine new visions and have the new agility to deliver what customers want in a rapidly changing market. Simon, what kind of services are on BT's radar right now, and how do you expect that you'll stand out from the pack with this newfound flexibility?
Yeah, absolutely right, Stephen. We have to differentiate. We have to stand out from the pack. We'll do that in a couple of ways. Firstly, we're building all our new solutions in a brand new cloud-based digital platform. That allows us to give our customers choice of management, commercial flexibility, which we've spoken about a little bit earlier, and also the ability to link their own systems. ServiceNow is a good example, directly into BT. We're also going to stand out through our security portfolio. We need and we do offer inherently secure solutions. We fully test them before we deploy. We need to offer us a choice of managed security solutions, next generation firewalls, which are required to make any solution secure. And finally, we have a new security platform that allows us to see further, a little bit deeper into what our customers are doing. And we use the data and insight we get from that to help protect them even more. We've had some great wins with VMware recently, providing secure SD-WAN solutions to some great new customers. It's not just words. We plan to differentiate, and we have differentiated together. And I think that's what's really helped us build on the success. And the great news is we have a really strong pipeline going into the future.
Kit, this must be music to your ears to be able to hear what our customers' goals are. How does this vision of the future align with the road ahead for VMware?
Well, and it's not just goals. As Simon said, we're doing some real things together and moving the market. And I think it really is about some of those big topics for us going forward, right? It's work from home is a big part of what we're doing with SD-WAN. It's security with how we're not only delivering SD-WAN, but then building SASE on top of it and extending into things like endpoint security, network security. Again, it's that flexibility. I think customers want that sort of asset-light approach. They want to be able to go in and do things quickly. They want to do it with software. And so I think the alignment, again, with this sort of bigger vision of, we're moving faster, we're doing it in a lightweight fashion, and like I said before, we're really doing it as a managed service, and again, not as DIY, because that's really not where most customers want to go or can even afford to go right now, with some of the frankly the restrictions we're seeing with COVID and some of the other challenges. So I think it's very much aligned in terms of the vision of what Simon had laid out, and I'd just say it's not talk, it is happening.
Well, evolution is not a small task. There's obviously costs involved and complexity, and moving to a multi-vendor approach and multi-vendor cloud networks. It's definitely a challenging aspect. Simon, what are some of the challenges that BT has been experiencing through this transformation, and how are you working with the vendor community to overcome these challenges?
Yeah, so absolutely, it's always a question of balance. Everything's a question of balance, but ultimately our aim is to put the customer first. It's a customer first mindset. We do need to launch enough products to offer choice. We need to cover different user cases. We obviously service many different industries, multiple geographies. The challenge comes if you make it too complex, if there's too much choice. Customers, we get confused, and that stops our ability to develop and innovate together. So what's really important, that the technology partners that we work with have exactly the same vision, that customer first. And that's what's, as we spoke about earlier, made the success we've had with VMware so exciting. But supporting this world, it's really, we need that experience, we need that expertise. A great example of how we work together in the research and development process to make sure our customers are at the centre of everything we do. So that's how the partnership with VMware and BT has developed, and we're enjoying the success of that.
Kit, how does VMware work with service providers making this transformation, and how do they help overcome these challenges from your perspective?
Well, there are really two pieces to this. The first is the technology itself. We are the world leader in terms of providing these multi-cloud tools, these platforms. So, clearly, from a technology perspective, we bring the latest and greatest and the best technology forward. But in parallel, we're actually doing a business transformation. So, again, as Simon indicated, some of the things that we're doing, we're helping streamline the choice. We're helping, make things easier so we can go faster. And it really is about helping not only drive faster innovation, but doing it at a better cost point. So again, there's more margin available to our service provider partners in order for them to really be able to drive a business transformation, again, moving away from more of the traditional types of services. So it's really the technology and the business innovation running in parallel. And VMware is really, we've made great strides in the last few years, and we're going to continue to accelerate this for the foreseeable future.
Well, it's already been quite a journey to multi-vendor networks, but the industry clearly has made some progress. My last question for both of you is, what do you think will be the next part of this journey, and what will it mean for your current priorities and your strategy? Perhaps Simon, if you want to go first.
Yeah, brilliant. For me, it's going to be two things. I, for one, hope we're going to be going back to the office in the next few months, but it's going to be different. How we work together, collaboration is going to be in a variety of forms, and our customers are going to need to support that approach. You're going to be, home workers and office workers. The security's got to be great. The user experience got to be fantastic. When you're collaborating with the rest of the organization, it's really important we get that right. The next big priority to me really is how we better integrate software-defined services. As we spoke about earlier, most customers still have a DIY approach. They're still buying solutions as separate towers. They're not taking advantage of that integration, LAN, WAN, cloud collaboration, for example. And most importantly for me is security. How we integrate that has to be a priority. It's hugely important for our customers, and anything we do, that needs to be at the heart of their transformation journey.
Kit?
So for me, it really, again, I echo everything that Simon just described, and I'll add maybe two things. I mean, multi-cloud, critical for the future. I think every business is going to be a multi-cloud business inherently because of the mix of different services and platforms in use. The other is 5G. And I think, with the way 5G is going to come in, I think that's going to be a transformational technology We're seeing that all across the globe right now. So really being able to link a lot of these business services that we're describing here, again, secure connections, in different modes and different formats, and whether that's on a factory floor or in a pop-up shop somewhere, I think that's going to be a huge transformation. So we see a lot of excitement there. Again, I'm bullish. I don't think there's a better time to be in this industry, and I've been here longer than I care to admit, decades. But I think there's tons of opportunity out there, and I think it's really incumbent on all of us to deliver great solutions and platforms for our end customers, and at the same time, really do this in a way that we can drive innovation and help. Again, and I keep coming back to COVID, but help really deliver a great experience, work from home, and so on, and then help the economy recover going into to the next decade.
Well, I want to thank both of you today for being a part of the show here on Tying Telco Together. And I want to thank you for the insights that you provided here. And we're excited to see where the journey takes us. Once again, thank you.
Thanks, Stephen. Thanks, Kit.
Thank you.